What if I told you that a rookie quarterback just walked into Cleveland and made Kenny Pickett look like he doesn't even belong in the same building? What if I told you that Stephen A. Smith himself just declared that the most talented quarterback on the Browns roster isn't the veteran they traded for, isn't the backup they're paying millions to, but a kid who was throwing passes in college just months ago? The Browns QB room is about to explode, and what's happening behind closed doors in Cleveland is going to shock you. This isn't just about making the team anymore. This is about a rookie potentially ending careers before they even get started. Listen, I've been around this league long enough to know when something special is brewing, and what's happening with Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland right now has everyone talking. When Stephen A. Smith says you're the most talented quarterback on a roster that includes veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, you better believe people are paying attention. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just about talent anymore. This is about politics, money, and egos colliding in the most dramatic way possible. The Browns didn't draft Shedeur Sanders to sit on the bench and learn. They drafted him because they saw something that made them believe he could be their franchise quarterback from day one. And if what I'm hearing from inside that building is true, that day one might be coming sooner than anyone expected. Think about this for a second. Kenny Pickett was supposed to be the safe choice, right? The veteran presence who could step in if needed. But here's the problem. When you're competing against generational talent like Shedeur Sanders, being safe isn't enough. Being a veteran isn't enough. You need to be better. And from what we're seeing in these practices, Pickett is getting schooled by a rookie. The insiders I've talked to aren't just impressed with Sanders' arm talent. They're blown away by his football IQ. We're talking about a kid who's reading defenses like he's been in the league for 5 years. While Pickett is still trying to figure out the playbook, Sanders is already audibling at the line of scrimmage and making throws that have coaches shaking their heads in disbelief. But here's where this story gets really interesting, and this is something that Stephen A. touched on that I think a lot of people missed. The Browns are in a position where they might actually have too much talent at quarterback. Think about that. When was the last time Cleveland had that problem? They've got Joe Flacco, who at 40 years old still has the arm to make every throw. They've got Kenny Pickett, who was a first-round pick just 2 years ago.
And grab hold of the starting job.
Yes, but I don't think we're going to know which one until we get deep into August. Now, I think, we tracked the reps everybody was getting at practice throughout the OTAs and minicamp. But when you talk to people there, they just want to make sure everybody got what they needed. And that, Kenny Pickett, we find out if he has the goods to be the starter. Joe Flacco, they back him off a little bit. He's 40. He may not need as much. The rookies, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, what do they need to learn to make the transition from the college game to the pro game? That's what the spring was about for the Browns quarterbacks. Now we get into training camp, late July, early August. I think that's when the competition starts, and the way they stack those reps will tell you a lot more.
They've got Dillon Gabriel, another rookie with serious upside. And then there's Shedeur Sanders, who might just be the most naturally gifted of them all. The problem? You can't keep 4 quarterbacks. The math doesn't work. Somebody's got to go, and if Sanders keeps playing the way he has been, it might not. Be who you think. That here's what's really wild about this situation. We're not even in training camp yet. All of this evaluation, all of this buzz, it's been happening during OTAs and minicamp. Imagine what happens when the real competition starts in late July and early August. That's when the gloves come off. That's when we find out who really wants this job and who's willing to fight for it. And let's be real about something. The Browns aren't going to hand this job to anyone. Kevin Stefanski has made it clear that the best player is going to play, regardless of draft position, regardless of salary, regardless of experience. If Shedeur Sanders proves he's the best quarterback on that roster, he's going to be the starter. And right now, that's looking more and more like a real possibility. But here's what makes this even more dramatic. Kenny Pickett's career might be hanging in the balance. Think about his trajectory. He was drafted in the first round by Pittsburgh, with expectations of being their franchise quarterback. That didn't work out. He gets traded to Cleveland with a chance to resurrect his career, and now he's being outplayed by a rookie who's barely been in the building for 3 months. The pressure on Pickett right now has to be insane. He knows that if he doesn't step up during training camp, if he doesn't show that he belongs in this conversation, he might find himself looking for a new team before the season even starts. And with the way the quarterback market works these days, there might not be another opportunity like this waiting for him. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is in this mix too, and here's something that's not getting enough attention. If Gabriel shows out in preseason, the Browns might have a trade asset on their hands that they never expected. Teams are always looking for young quarterback talent, and if Gabriel proves he can play at the NFL level, Cleveland could flip him for valuable draft capital or even veteran help at other positions. This is where the Browns front office gets really interesting. They're not just evaluating talent, they're managing assets. They know they can't keep all 4 of these guys, so they're trying to maximize the value they can get from the ones they're going to move. If Sanders establishes himself as the future and Flacco proves he's still got enough left in the tank to be a quality backup, then Pickett and Gabriel become expendable. But here's the thing that has everyone in Cleveland buzzing: Shedeur Sanders isn't just showing flashes. He's not just having good moments. From what I'm hearing, he's been consistently impressive in ways that have coaches wondering if they might have found their franchise quarterback earlier than they ever imagined. Comparisons to his father, Deion Sanders, are inevitable, but Shedeur is carving out his own identity. He's got that same confidence, that same swagger, but his game is built on precision and intelligence rather than pure athleticism. He's making throws into tight windows that have defensive coordinators already game planning around him. And we're still in June. And let's talk about the elephant in the room: the pressure. There's no hiding when you're a Sanders. The spotlight finds you whether you want it or not. But instead of crumbling under that pressure, Shedeur seems to be thriving in it. The bigger the moment, the better he plays. The more eyes on him, the more he elevates his game. This is exactly what the Browns were hoping for when they drafted him, but I don't think even they expected it to happen this fast. Usually, rookie quarterbacks need time to adjust to the speed of the professional game. Time to learn the nuances of reading NFL defenses. Shedeur is skipping all of that. He's playing like he belongs from day one. So what does this mean for the Browns season? If Sanders wins the starting job, they're not just getting a quarterback, they're getting a statement. They're telling the league that they're done rebuilding, done waiting for the right opportunity. They're ready to compete now, with or without the veteran safety net they thought they needed. But here's where this gets really spicy. What happens to team chemistry if a rookie comes in and takes the job from established veterans? How do guys like Pickett handle being beaten out by someone who was in college just a few months ago? How does that affect the locker room dynamics? The Browns are walking a tightrope here. On one hand, they want the best player to win the job. On the other hand, they need to maintain team unity and morale. If Sanders wins the starting job, they need to make sure the veterans are buying in and supporting him, not resenting him for taking what they thought was theirs. Training camp is going to be absolutely crucial. This is where we'll see who really wants it most. This is where we'll see who can handle the pressure when the lights get bright and the competition gets real. Because right now, all we have are practice reports and whispers from inside the building. Training camp is where reputations are made and careers are defined. The fact that there are only 3 preseason games now makes this even more intense. There's less time to evaluate, less room for error. Every rep matters. Every throw matters. Every decision matters. If you have a bad day in training camp, you might not get another chance to prove yourself. And here's something else to consider. The Browns' schedule next season is brutal. They're going to need a quarterback who can handle adversity, who can make plays when everything breaks down, who can lead a team through tough moments. Based on what we're seeing right now, Shedeur Sanders might be that guy. But let's pump the brakes for just a second. We're still talking about a rookie who hasn't taken a single meaningful snap in the NFL. Yes, he's looked good in practice. Yes, he's impressed coaches and teammates. But practice is practice. The real test comes when you're facing live bullets. When there are real consequences for every decision you make. The Browns know this better than anyone. They've seen promising quarterbacks before. They've been burned by getting too excited too early. But there's something different about Sanders, something that has even the most cautious evaluators starting to believe. Here's what I'm watching for as we head into training camp. Can Shedeur Sanders maintain this level of play when the competition ramps up? Can he handle the physical toll of a full NFL training camp? Can he process information at game speed when there are real pass rushers coming at him? If the answer to all of those questions is yes, then the Browns might have found something special. If not, well, that's why they have veterans like Flacco and options like Pickett. But right now, in this moment, all signs are pointing toward something extraordinary happening in Cleveland. A rookie quarterback is making veteran players look ordinary. A kid who should be learning the ropes is teaching lessons to guys who have been in the league for years. The Browns' quarterback battle isn't just about who's going to start week 1. It's about the future of the franchise. It's about whether they can finally break the cycle of disappointment that has defined this organization for decades. It's about whether Shedeur Sanders is the answer they've been searching for all these years. Point one things for certain: by the time training camp is over, we're going to know a lot more about what the Browns really have in their quarterback room. And if Stephen A. Smith is right about Sanders being the most talented quarterback on the roster, then Cleveland fans might finally have something to get excited about. The question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders has talent. That's already been established. The question is whether he can handle everything that comes with being the franchise quarterback for a team that's desperate for success. Can he handle the pressure? Can he handle the expectations? Can he handle being the face of a franchise that's been waiting for a savior for way too long? We're about to find out. And something tells me this story is just getting started. What do you think? Is Shedeur Sanders really ready to take over as Cleveland's starting quarterback? Or are we getting way ahead of ourselves with a rookie who hasn't even been to training camp yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about this wild quarterback situation in Cleveland. And if you're loving this kind of inside access to what's really happening around the league, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're bringing you the analysis you won't get anywhere else, the real scoop on what's happening behind the scenes. Don't miss out on the drama that's about to unfold.